Exactly 1 year ago, Tiffany Russell was arrested by the New York police. She was a member of a terrorist duo called by government officials Evil Twins. The main target for this group were major international airports. Unfortunately, her sister Shannon is still at large. And today in Oklahoma City,
Has this shit ever happened to you? If not, it could. Hello, I'm Con, James Con. You see, ordinary sunglasses block your view, obstruct your vision. That's why you should use our Assassin Vision 5000 sunglasses. They are beautifully crafted in Europe and come with the latest digital technology. For your convenience, they also come with this beautiful full-size VHS camera, so you can solve problems going on behind your back without turning your head. And now our special offer. If you're an assassin between the ages of 51 and 80, in addition you will receive this fabulous bonus. A beautiful 3D surround sound headset, so you will not only see better, but hear better as well.
Hi baby, nice us.
Fantastic! So call 1-500-BALONEY right now. And don't miss out on this great opportunity. And remember, no other assassins or police will visit. Good luck.
was waiting for this for so long. Give it to me. Give it to me.
You can't right now.
Woo! All right, baby.
Why don't you bite me, baby? Why don't you bite me? Right. Why don't you bite me, baby? Why don't you bite me?
Nobody knows what's wrong with me. My shrink says it's one thing, but it could be 2 or 3. If I keep my mouth shut, he'll think I'll be doing fine. But if I told him everything, I'll be doing time. If I take a pill or 2, I get tired. I take another one. And then I'm feeling kind of wired. What's wrong with me? I'd surely like to know. But nobody's telling me. That's why I have to go. Suicide is always in my mind. There is no other answer that I can find. Some people say it's a selfish thing to do. But they don't know what I've been going through. There's gonna be an answer out there somewhere, but oh God! Why can't it be right here? I've searched and searched and searched some more, but searching for answers is becoming such a chore. I wonder what's keeping me here around, especially when there are no answers to be found. I'm unemployed, and I have no social life. I'm feeling like slitting my wrists with a real sharp knife. Suicide is always in my mind. There is no other answer that I can find. Some people say it's a selfish thing to do. But they don't know what I've been going through. It's a ruse, you see. I'm not who I am. My philosophy is swallowed up in a dream. If I pose just right, you can see inside. It's the voices I fear. It's what I must hide. My mask is for you. A real work of art. I know it's not true and it's breaking my heart, but I need you right now to ease all my pain. And I can't tell you how madness rocks through my brain. I have it down to a fine art indeed. But inside, I drown in delusions unfreed. You don't know me. It's the outside, you see. I know it's a shame. How else could it be? I struggle in sadness to put it aside. And all the madness I know I should hide. And sometimes I think if only he knew. I go to a shrink, but what can they do? I'm crazy, I know, but you cannot see. I put on a show, I'm happy, I'm free. It's all a big lie. But it's better so. While inside I die. Because I want you to stay. So I have to pretend to be healthy and strong, and I play to the end till nothing is wrong. How else could it be in a world without care? If I'm honest and true, you will no longer be there. I guess it's just like a long, drawn-out game. where love is a dream. And I'm without shame. I guess I can't give you the most you need in life. The privilege to live with a sane, honest wife. Love is uncertain. I never knew how. Down comes the curtain. I must take a bow. I don't want to die. I just don't want to live. There's nothing left, and I have nothing to give. The conversations in my head go on and go on, and they will continue until I'm gone. I've often thought that the world would be a better one without me. I feel so numb. I can't say a word. I'm screaming inside. But I can't be hurt. Perhaps this life was not meant for me, but for someone else, and I just have to wait and see. Please, dear God, I can only pray that one day I feel better. Until then, I hope I can be strong, and that these feelings I feel won't cost my swan song. San Francisco is falling down. Transvestites line up the street, sitting like Indians in front of a giant TV screen, watching me pose naked. And as embarrassment rises, chopping up people's heads. Queen Elizabeth II was sent flying from a canyon to the North Pole, where she lay on a glacier with 2 broken legs. Dirty young kids threw stones at me from the wall behind the goodness where the devil hides unseen. As I potter through the streets buying Coca-Cola in the shops. The shopkeeper feels sorry for me. Seeing loneliness written on my brow. Offering me free magazines as I return to my cell. I'm a hermit now. I stay all day in bed. I never dress or eat good food. I just want to be dead. Because I dream of an Irish girl. I dream of mighty spirits walking around my room, dead relations at my bed spurring me on. I hear footsteps from Peter outside my bedroom door. Movements up and down the stairs. As my bed makes love with me like something from Dracula. A garbage can knocks over in the garden outside. Rebecca stands in the door, gun in hand, as David comes to my rescue. I thought you were dead. I cycled to your aid, inventing a door that was to be your home, where your grandfather lays dead. The woman who fucked the world, murdered in random, comes in my head. I heard her screaming in pain as the devil ate her heart. And the Virgin cried a river as God did deliver. That Jesus Christ was dead.
So tell me about your character, sir.
Really?
Yes.
Let's see, what do we need to know? Andrew's a somewhat idealistic, but more likely immature young man who's used to getting, not getting his own way, but used to getting a fair amount of attention. Considered bright by his peers and colleagues. So, as a result of that, he is used to, when he sets his mind to doing something, he's used to people going, oh, yeah, that's something. And so he comes up with the idea to go more or less undercover with the into the ward, and it fits. I mean, it's a naive idea. It is bright, but as a result of his immaturity, he burns a lot of his bridges when he is on the inside with people that could easily make things worse for him and do make things worse for him. He's not very diplomatic. He has outbursts and tantrums sometimes where it really isn't necessary to go that far, even if he is justified. But like I said, Andrew's used to getting his own way about things.
Would you say you're one flew over the cuckoo's nest then?
No, there's some differences here. I mean, obviously there's a similar setting, but with that one, Jack Nicholson's character generally was unstable. Although there's a suggestion here that Andrew just may very well be predisposed for this condition.
What is your definition of crazy then?
Well, they toy with that throughout this film. That our definition, as we know it, might be weak. That there's a gray area between eccentricity and being bright in a lot of cases.
Is there normal? Is there such thing as normal?
There is the norm, which is a more fitting category for the larger segment of the population, but it does not. It's not necessarily something one should adhere to. History looked upon certain people as valuable members of their society. Maybe not at the time, but in retrospect, like Da Vinci and Picasso, and there is enough evidence now to suggest then that these people may have been schizophrenic. So at one time they may have been revered, and today they're considered outcasts in a lot of cases, or required to be normalized. So yeah, and there's a lot of cliches here, but it doesn't attempt to tackle it head on. So it doesn't end up being a cliche. This film, it ends up being a window into this, an opportunity for us to observe.
Actually, I have heard that Bruce Cockburn once said, "The trouble with normal is that it always gets worse." What do you think?
That sounds right. It's one of the first songs I ever taped.
Some son of a bitch would die.
Yeah. Bruce Cockburn. I mean, a lot of artists, you can see evidence of I'm not going to say schizophrenic tendencies, but because the definition for what comprises schizophrenia is so broad, and it's a subject that even so-called experts, their information and their knowledge about it is unsubstantiated in a lot of cases. It's going to be. It's going to be a topic that will be more and more in the public eye as time goes on. It's forcibly becoming in the public eye. You see it on the streets with one type of category of schizophrenic. 1% of the population, I mean, that's 50 million people. That's a lot of people. And these are the people with definite symptoms that are easily observed. So,
would you say after this film, all you want to do is get a beer?
No, because Helen would give me a hard time because of the makeup and red. Then again, after the film, you did say after, didn't you?
During the film.
During the film,
yes.
No alcohol.
Not at all.
Actually, I didn't know I was going to be having to put the beard on, so I did have a glass of wine last night.
Okay. Mike? Yeah. To Dr. Satan, oh, you are married now. And your original was written, we were separated. You have to add, we didn't see each other for 1 year, we are separated.
So I haven't seen her for a year, we've been separated.
Yeah, so that will explain her surprise when she sees it
okay.
at this stage. What you did with the trailer?
Oh, no problem. That's no problem. I don't mind that. That's fine.
And I don't even think it's necessary. Okay, don't record that.
Yes, I remember everything. It was a simulation. I just simulated, that's all.
Oh, so you were simulating then? Well, how do I know you're not simulating now? God. Okay, look.
Of course I do. That's obvious.
Obvious to everybody. Most of our patients want to leave. But are they ready to leave? Look, you seem to understand what's going on around you. You understand the procedures here, and yet seem determined to convince me of this.
It's very easy. Just contact the hospital. I'm Dr. Wallace's assistant.
It's this thing where I take my glasses off because then I don't have to worry about the fourth wall because I can't see. I can see enough. And actors don't like to work with glasses because they can't see your eyes, I guess. You get used to not seeing. I'm not that bad. I can see, but I like clarity. But you know, anyways. Oh, you don't want to be in this? You haven't done your makeup?
Dead. Yeah. It's gonna look bad on me.
No, how could that be?
So tell me about your character.
Dr. Satan. Well, he turns out to be, I think, sort of like the antagonist in this show because he means well, but really he's a researcher who's more interested in his clinical studies than in helping patients. So the patients are sort of a nuisance, and as a result, he sort of is looking, not consciously, but is sort of looking for the kinds of results he wants. And you know how a psychiatrist can sort of implant ideas in patients' mind, and they start giving the psychiatrist what they want. So he really doesn't mean, it's like Satan. presents himself as a teacher or a friend or a father figure, someone who's there to help. He's not, you know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions kind of thing. So it's kind of a neat role. Of course, the director decided to go against type because I'm angelic, really. I'm not. I'm not really Satan-like, except for this vein here.
We're going back to that maybe.
I know. So that's about it, you know, and it's fun. It's been a great role. It's fun for me because that's sort of my background. I work with psychiatric patients, and I'm a social worker, and so, you know, and I'm, you know, borderline myself a little. So it's a great play to be in, film to be in for that reason.
If you can't find something wrong with somebody, do you think you would make it up?
Well, you know, do you remember the controversy when everyone was talking about suppressed memories and how all these people were coming up? A lot of my clients at the time were convinced that they had been abused and that it had been suppressed, and all of a sudden the memory was surfacing. Well, the controversy was that there was some suggestion that a psychiatrist looking for that, actually subconsciously the patient started to create a story in his subconscious or her subconscious to satisfy the, you know, wanting to please the psychiatrist in a way. So, you know, then all of a sudden it became suspect that all these alleged suppressed memories weren't real at all, and that families were being destroyed. So it was a real controversy. So, you know, it's just like a researcher who is doing a study. If they're not careful, they'll affect the outcome, and I think that's what Dr. Satan's about. He means well, but he's sort of looking for the results he wants, and he sort of creates it around him, sort of. In my real life, I'm a social worker.
Oh, okay.
But in the show, I'm a psychiatrist.
And what's your definition of crazy?
Crazy is when your inner world becomes more real than the outer world, and you can't deal with the overstimulation. So it's a chemical imbalance that causes a difficulty to understand what voices are real or what's really happening outside, you know. So
Okay.
So it's physiological, it's chemical.
So I'm all right then.
Well, I mean, you know, some of the people I work with are some of the sanest people I know because they're always holding on to sanity. And there's a lot of people allegedly saying that are pretty crazy because they let themselves go more, or they're on the edge or whatever. Something
My
like
opinion
that.
is if people express themselves more, they can be trusted more. Do you think that's a good idea?
In what sense? What do you mean?
People who try to act normal maybe are the real crazy ones.
Right, yeah, that's sort of what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, what is normal or what is sane? I mean, situations can force stress, and stress can force changes in your body chemistry. I mean, just ask anyone who's had a panic attack; they'll tell you that it's been hard to sort of hold on to sanity. So, yeah, what's normal?
But you don't need nothing.
Oh, I don't know side by each.
Oh man.
The truth we cannot avoid.
After the phone cord. Phone cord's off the wall. So let's do a couple dry run-throughs just with the lines. Can I use the phone?
Use this phone.
Oh. Come on, I mean, look. I'll pay you. It's a local call. I won't be but a few minutes. Please, just let me make the call. Dr. Vallis, please. What? Isn't this sick? Is this the university?
That's it. Time's up. You can go now.
No. Come on. I just made one.
I said that's it.
Local.
That's enough. Listening.
I said?
I'm in a bit of a hurry. So?
I'm in here doing an experiment. Look, I know how it sounds, but I'm doing an experiment here, and I can't remember my next line.
Oh, well, maybe it's because I go. So that's all you have to tell me? I think I understand now. Please, go to your room.
You know what? I walk over.
No.
There's something we're missing. Hang on, let me get my script. You say, that's it, time's up, go to your room. Please, you have to let me make one more call. What is it you want?
I want you to do your right line.
Oh, did we change that line?
No, oh yeah, sorry, I just forgot the logic. Your room. I'd like to remind you that the only thing I know for sure is that you want to leave this hospital.
Well, that's obvious. What?
Oh yeah, what? Maybe you just think you're a doctor. Look. I stand up and show you the door.
Yeah.
Now, do we still want to do that?
Yeah, no, that worked. That worked.
Okay. When did you first start thinking you were a psychiatrist?
Matter of fact, forget all of that. Contact my wife. She'll confirm everything. She'll tell you who I am.
Oh, so you're married now.
4697. Would you call her, please? Please?
Okay, so now you are still at this. Okay. Lower yourself.
So you were simulating then. How do I know you're not simulating now? I mean, the only thing I know for sure is obvious to everybody. I mean, most of our patients want to leave. You understand the procedures here, and yet you seem determined to keep. Maybe you just think you're a doctor.
Confirm any of your doubts about me. In fact, I want an outside you to get an outside consultation on the results. She'll confirm everything. She'll tell you what. Yes, I'm married. I don't know why I didn't tell you I was married. Number's 4697. Just call. Just please call her. Would you please? Just call her.
Covered the phone.
We'll get it. Don't worry.
It was close.
Right.
Where are you going? I have to think this through.
So what was the reason for the phone then? What happened before that?
But it's after the phone we're talking about.
Yeah, we went with the simple.
He gets up in the scene.
I get up in the scene, so I just...
You cut off my first line a bit. I wanted to mention it, because I want to be sure you're a patient. I didn't want to be recognized as a doctor.
Do one more time.
Not
Over the
recognized
shoulder.
as a doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, so over the shoulder, you can read the script if you want, because I see just your ear and your shoulder.
Yeah, but I can't really turn it, so...
Yeah, but you can look up, look down and up, on this, which is good. Okay.
Okay, my character's name is Dr. Satan. He is a doctor or a psychiatrist who means well, has good intentions, but is more focused on his research than on the needs of his patients. And I like to think of him as someone who, not consciously, but is looking for the results he wants to get, and isn't in that way a very good scientist, and isn't at all a humanitarian.
Some question?
Oh, now I'm asking questions.
Okay.
Okay. Would you say your character is controlling or manipulative?
Manipulative, but not consciously. I think maybe just a little too zealous in his desire to see the things he wants to see.
What did you use in your own life to draw upon to fulfill the needs of this character?
Well, I mean, oddly enough, I work with a psychiatric patient and psychiatric consumers, and who are successfully living within the community and are successfully treated. So I've had personal experience that way. Yeah.
In what capacity?
As a residential counselor.
Oh, I see.
In a group home setting. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So did you find that this was a realistic approach to this dynamic, or? Of course, it is a different time, isn't it?
Well, more so in the development of the character. I mean, I think for me, the motivations are honest and real, because I remember in previous situations, previous information that I've heard, how repressed memories sometimes surface and aren't actual events. The theory is that the patient subconsciously wants to give the psychiatrist the kinds of things they're looking for. And there was that whole controversy about suppressed memories not really being truly suppressed memories, but actually a creation of the mind in an attempt to please the therapist. So that kind of theme.
So can the audience expect that sort of controversy in this film?
Again, I think it's just sort of the underlying motivations or honesty for the characters.
What did you enjoy about your character the most?
Well, I really enjoyed doing the blue screen. I thought that was a riot. You got to see the work as you did it. You were watching the monitor. You had to get a sense of, in the blueness or in the there was no depth. You had to get a sense of the direction. I learned a lot doing that. Yeah, yeah, I really enjoyed that.
And did you find what did you find were your greatest challenges?
Working with the props. Some of the props, I guess I would have liked to have been a little more authentic. But I want to say that I really enjoyed working with Mike, the director. His laid-back approach instantly made me feel confident. I felt very competent. He seemed happy with what he was getting, and I let go. I really enjoyed that.
Was there anything about his style that you didn't appreciate, or
well,
maybe a little bit harsh?
I'm a rookie actor. I've only been doing this full time now for about 2 years. I guess if I were more developed as an actor, I might say I'd like a director who would push me more, maybe get more out of me. But at this point in my career, this was a perfect relationship. I liked his. Again, I felt really comfortable and really, yeah.
What is it, do you think, that audiences will get from this sort of film? Are they going to learn something, or are they just going to be entertained? Is this an escape?
I don't know. I mean, that's a really good question. Again, a new experience for me, my first independent film. I've only read through it once or twice, and that was a while ago, and then since then I've been doing just the scenes I'm in, so I don't have a real sense of it. But the animation, I think, there's something with the animation that I think is going to be very entertaining and can be powerful as well.
So is this One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest all over again, or can we expect something different?
Again, it's hard to say. My perspective as an actor is more focused just in the scenes I'm in. I haven't got the big picture as much. I really don't know. I don't know.
What about working with the other actors?
Well, I mostly worked with Adam, and in most of the scenes, just the two of us, basically. And we had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the rapport, and I, again, felt comfortable and at ease, but it was also, I really felt a sort of a connection, and I think that helps a lot, a lot. You just finished an independent film, a film in which you were the main character, and we're in almost every scene from the start to the finish. How do you feel?
Tired. It's been a long haul, intense, usually 12-hour days, but you know what, it's one of those things that it just whips by. I really, really enjoyed it. You know, when you enjoy something so much that when you don't notice the time go by and then you pay the price later after it's over, you know, either with pure exhaustion or I got slightly sick earlier this week for the first time in quite a while. So yeah, it took me off guard, but I enjoyed it purely. Loved it.
There's a physical challenge, but I noticed in a lot of your scenes that it was pretty intense emotionally. You had to sort of go some places. What was that like?
A new experience in some ways, not in every way. I mean, there's always a bit of yourself in every character, which could be frightening considering what this character goes through from start to finish. We take Andrew through quite a journey from seemingly competent young psychiatrist, starting off on a good career path with an interesting, innovative approach to the final stages of his internship, right through to the end of the film, which I won't reveal, but it was an emotional trauma sometimes. there were times where, again, you don't think of it while you're acting, but after it's done, it's almost like you get dizzy for a moment. And I spent a lot of times researching schizophrenic patients from case study videos at the Toronto Research Library, and just seeing as much as I can about what motivates real documented cases. I wasn't about to just watch fictions of it. I wanted to see the real thing, and I can only guess what really is absolutely going on in their minds, but I try to take myself to the furthest depths of who I am when the scene's called for it. In some cases, in ways that I've never, in terms of I've never gone there, and so this provided a safe forum to do it. I mean, if I did it, in my apartment one day, my neighbors may question it, but so it was a personal exploration too. I enjoyed the journey.
Was there anything that you didn't like about the experience or the production?
And in general, there's very little that I would say I was unhappy with. I was there's a running joke around the set that there was the props were less than maybe it's less is more. It could really work quite well, and I got to say I trust what I've seen from Mike so far as a fan of films, of his films. So I'm sure he'll know how to make it work. But these are simple props. It reminded me a lot of the theater work that I've done. But in terms of other things I didn't like, maybe the set food. But independent film. Actually, it's not a lot different from the big budget stuff that I've done as an extra. When I was younger, but no, I really got to say nothing but good things about this film. It was very well organized for a low-budget independent film. From start to finish, you can tell that things were thought about, planned properly, and yet Mike has an impromptu style to his filming that he allows his actors to a little bit of range if necessary, but says move on when it's time to move on. So I liked that balance, and I enjoyed working with him immensely for those reasons.
Great. Anything else that you want to add?
The only thing I'd like to add is I really hope that audience members get something from this because of how prevalent this issue is. I mean, 50 million people in this world have this condition, and while this is a personal belief, and I'm sure the medical community would scoff at my lack of scientific insight, but I believe this to be more of a humanitarian issue rather than a medical one. History has shown that people who we now suspect were schizophrenics, history has regarded them rather highly. People like Picasso, you can see the progression in his paintings from beginning to end, where the images become more disjointed and so on. And Da Vinci and Edgar Allan Poe. I mean, these are people who contributed enormously to our development as a society. So I would like to see people be challenged in terms of their viewpoint and their outlook on schizophrenia. That it's not merely the dirty hobo in the street muttering madly to himself. That there are many faces to schizophrenia, and even perhaps those who are muttering madly to themselves, maybe the reason we're so uncomfortable with them is that it's vaguely reminiscent of a darker side of ourselves that we fear we may not be that far away from. It's a gray area, and it's not a big leap, I don't think. The only thing I can draw upon that suggests that I have insight into that is this performance, and I didn't find that it may have outwardly looked rather intense, but inwardly the journey was, I wasn't going to some part of some land that I didn't exist in. This was still me. It was just an extreme extension of a particular aspect of me. So I hope people get something very personal out of this that challenges them. Doesn't necessarily depress them, but it definitely challenges their outlook. what is normal after all.
Okay. Why did you call for the audition?
Why did I go for the audition?
Yeah.
Why
did you want to be in this movie?
Well, that's actually a very good question, because I've been more or less out of the acting foray for full-time for about 2-3 years now. And some of the reasons are more obvious practical ones, financial, but I really wasn't seeing a heck of a lot in the way of good parts out there. And that's the old actor's lament, but even with independent films, which fortunately are getting the forum that they have never, unlike any other time in our history. In the last 10 years, it's been quite exciting. But I've been auditioning for independent films in the past full-time and now part-time, and I've seen a lot of crap. I've seen some very cliched stories. When I saw this story, it was an instinct. You know what? I can't even fully express exactly what it was. It's just a gut instinct that there's something right, there's something powerful about this. And when I went for the audition, I said to Mike after I read the lines, because I knew my acting was the best I could do at that, in a cold reading on the spot without knowing the big picture. But I knew there was something else I had to say that would separate me from everybody else. And I told him that I'm willing to go the journey with him on this, wherever it takes, wherever he wants to take me. I'm prepared to go there. And the reason was because I knew we were dealing with a subject where we go beyond ourselves. And I didn't just want to act. I really wanted to be there for this very important subject. I knew it was something that if I gave it my all, there was a chance that my contribution would assist in making this work. I hope it has.
What was your first reaction when you heard that the shooting will be done in Black Cube instead of the real hospital cell?
Well, I guess I wasn't... I didn't write it off, but my initial reaction was, of course, surprise, and part of me was dismayed, although I didn't directly verbalize it. I hinted at it, trying to be diplomatic as possible. I mean, it sounded like theater to me. I'd seen it in theater, but this was filming in a cubic environment, as you're suggesting, that almost hermetically sealed with simple props and the spotlight on the actor. I knew it would demand a greater performance as an actor, so that part of it intrigued me. That in order for the audience to remain interested, you'd have to see some damn good performances from the actors. And I got to say, there's a lot of good acting in this film. I'm pleased with the cast members I've had a chance to work with, especially some of the key actors where I've had a number of scenes with them. They were all top-notch, in my opinion. But no, at first I just didn't know how this could work. It seemed too eclectic, too artsy-fartsy, and I just didn't think the audience would buy it. But I know Mike has solid editing skills, so if anybody can make this sort of approach work in the independent film world, I think he can do it. So we shall see. But now that I've done it, I have a better feeling. I really do, because we have seen such good acting. Kudos to the other actors.
What was your initial reaction to the director's request that there will be only 2 takes during the shooting of the movie?
This was probably the only thing that Mike requested that really constantly grated on me, because I knew that he explained. I'll back up a bit. He explained to me his logic, which is quite solid. I've never heard it put this way. The logic such that historically in film, the best takes are always the first one and the last one, and everything else in between tends to, in the editing room anyway, get scrapped. It was a suspicion of mine. He confirmed it, having been an editor himself. Yes, that was a good argument, but as an actor, I was just like, I was so frightened that I wouldn't get it right in 2 takes, that I would be constantly looking back and saying, damn it, I should have done that. And having blown it because the energy passed by so quickly. But I hope, I'm trying to integrate more in my life, kind of a Taoist approach to things, that just let it flow, and that whatever's going to flow and whatever's going to happen will happen anyway. So, and Mike seemed to have a similar kind of approach of, okay, that's it, we'll go with that. And so his letting things flow allowed that to work. If he were a rigid controlling sort of director, I don't think that would have worked. So you got an interesting balance there. You got someone who lets things happen, yet they've got a 2-take rule, let's move on. It's a balance. So that's why it worked. I felt comfortable enough that I could usually get it in 2 takes.
Hi, my name is Mike Sławomir Sekotka, and I am producer and director of the movie titled Schizophrenia. 10 years ago I left Poland because I didn't get to the film school, even though I tried. And when I came here, I started to do the Ryerson Film Studies, the evening studies. It's called Continuing Education. I did about 4 or 5 courses, and I was 1 course away to get the paper, and then I left the school because I didn't see any benefits of the school in order to make the movie Schizophrenia. Summer 2000, I went to Poland for vacation, to my city where I grew up, and I asked all my friends, relatives, family, I'm looking for a story. I was doing short movies before, about 5 short movies in Canada. I was sick of it, and I said I'm looking for a true story, for some articles, some good books. And one friend told me about this book by Jacek Głębski, titled, original Polish title, Kuracja. We translate it in English as a treatment. It's a true story about a young guy who goes to the mental institution as a patient. He simulates schizophrenia, and he wants to discover how to live with the patients, how they live in the hospital, how they are treated by the doctors, nurses, and so on. And story ends that he tells about this experiment to 2 people, his professor and the chief of staff where he is hospitalized. Chief of staff dies of heart attack, his boss, his professor, leaves the country, and the guy is stuck in the hospital and nobody believes him that he's doing an experiment. So I read the book and I said, this is it, this is what I want to do as a film. So through the internet I found a publishing house, and I just said in the email, I am from Canada, I want to do the movie, by Jacek Głębski. I received a few days later email back with the contact information. It was about 1 week before I was going back to Canada. I've met with Jacek for 2 hours, the author of the book. I've met with him for 2 hours, and 2 days later I left to Canada with the blessing to do the movie. So I came to Canada, and in the beginning of August I made a decision that I'm going to make this film pre-production 5 months, and the rest will be 60 days. That includes shooting, editing, custom sound effects, and custom music. The idea came, well, where the idea came from. First of all, I was investing my own money, my own time. So I know that people who are looking for the money for the government agencies and so on, sometimes they will never make a movie because the energy they spend on looking for the money is just gone after they go through all the applications. And I had so much energy to make this film that I said, like, forget, I'm not going to ask for money outside, I'm going to use credit cards to finance the movie. And 60 days came. At the beginning it was personal challenge to finish the movie in 60 days and marketing gimmick. By September it became just personal challenge. After I watched the conference from the Rogers about from the film festivals and the filmmakers talking about how they spent 5 years, 2 years making a movie, I said there has to be a better way. and there's something wrong with people having so much money, millions of dollars, and the project goes into 2 years. Now I'm talking about the formula I invented for the shooting film in 60 days. Is for the first-time filmmakers. It was shot on video. It has to be a simple script, 5 actors maximum, 1 to 2 locations, and so on. So I'm not talking about movies like Titanic to be done in 60 days. I'm talking about first-time filmmakers, simple movies. So that's what I said. In August, it will be 5 months of pre-production, including writing the script, building the website, shooting trailer, getting interactive CD-ROM in place, and on January 5th I'm going to start shooting no matter what. This, of course, would be exception of the illness, of my illness, or illness of the major actor, of the principal actor. And I said that 60 days after that I'm going to screen the movie in the theater. And that's it. With Adam, funny story is, when he called me, he asked, what do you expect how your main character will look? And I said, well, let's say the guy is tall, 6 feet, with some hair, longer hair, so we can save some money in the makeup to make the messy hair and so on. And he said, Mike, what I'm asking you to do is keep open mind, because I am 5 feet, so I'm short and I'm bald. So I said, okay, I will keep open mind for the audition. Then he called me second time, about 5 minutes later, and he said, listen, because I also asked about age, it should be between 28 and 32 age. And he said, listen, I'm also sometimes cast in the ages between 30 and 40. So I will fit, just please keep open mind when I come to the audition. And I did keep open mind because, yeah, he was the best. So he got the lead role in the movie. You will see that the whole background is black. The idea came for the shooting in black from the lack of money at the beginning. Shooting in hospital cost $5,000 per day for the closed wing. Of course, you have to then put probably furniture yourself, so you're talking more money, insurance, and so on. So of course this was out of reach, although I didn't know that I will shoot so fast, but my, let's say, formula will work so well. I was surprised myself, but we'll talk about this later. So later on I thought, I'm going to shoot in black because, number one, the subject of the movie, schizophrenia, is, let's call it, very dark. And number two, I can hide a lot of things in black. You will just need a very minimal number of props. You can hide everything in the dark. Eye always goes where the light is. So that was the advantage. Plus, like I said, the subject of the movie, schizophrenia, was pretty dark. So I said, let's go for it. By December 15th, if somebody would come to me and say, okay, here are the key to the hospital, you can go and shoot, I will not go there for sure. I was so convinced that the black was the way to go, that probably I wouldn't even take the free hospital on December 15th. After watching the movie, probably I would do it in the hospital, because I was missing these elements between the scenes when you can see actors walking or thinking, so there is some kind of small pause, and you can show the surroundings. Now let me show you high-tech tools you have to make a movie. This is Sony VX1000, lights from the Home Depot with the professional black aluminum foil, the most versatile barn doors in the world, and of course short shotgun from Audio-Technica. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. We started rolling the camera on January 5th, and today is the 60th day of the production. So, thanks to everybody. Goethe once said, daring ideas are like chessmen. Move forward, they may be beaten, but they also may start a winning game. And what we have here is a winning game, definitely, because no matter what we are going to see on the screen, we are better filmmakers than we were 60 days before, and this will us make better movies in the future. So let's enter dark world of schizophrenia.